you instantly know where all of the traps are, all of the things to watch out for. That could be both good and bad. You have to make sure you don't prejudge, but it also gives you a way of really honing in your score, depending on how well they handle the different spots. You could stay right here.
The base can move around and you can fall. You can create how he was able to see some hard things.
They can move me later. When you start singing.
There's just guys that
Sure, you can take one of the chairs.
So that we can get stuff from works.
A couple of sick. Oh, we had one that had appendicitis from.
You got the work in.
And it didn't go well, and so he's just kind of sick still. That's why he ran again.
Let's see, starting at the top.
Yeah.
Chimney.
Did you get just a picture?
I don't know. We usually get around one per each.
Mary, right?
Yeah.
Is Jerry coming in?
No.
No, but they're gonna. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that was right after that. And that was like 3 days later, or a week later.
Does a very nice job. Apparently, the filters that we bought it from interior doors.
Just sit on the right. They don't rest of us.
That's too high.
Yeah, this is just.
Yeah.
That's fine. The chairs are finished. We have the entryway, kitchen dining, 2 rooms done in matching time. Places, tore out some carpeting and pouring from the sun.
The warm-up room for
Decided not to put in
VIH, the ceiling was so low that they couldn't stand on the top of it.
It's gonna be real cozy. I don't know how we're gonna do the.
and other
It was tall, it was so low that even on the next to the third step, they were close. They didn't dare, a couple of them didn't dare raise them on their toes.
Repair the driveway, trees and cracking drive.
Well, they should put the short guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got some that are so tall that I can stand one step above them, and they're still taller than me.
I know how that feels.
Yes, but I go a little bit higher height.
Because it's so creative and there's like no
So
preparation.
we accepted an offer that was
She had some notes in it, and I think that that's what they have us
No, they put a reasonable figure on it. If you figure a range, maybe a little bit higher, because they want to attract people to come and look at it. Because they figure if we get them in the door, they're sold.
Yeah. Like the circle of Christmas, I think his point was that it's going to be one of these things typically, unless there's a weekend of sunset.
So, songs are very right. And go to school.
And their circle of Christmas.
There's no good neighborhood.
Yeah.
Hardly ever hit the market just right. But there's nothing in our price category at all union facilities that that way. So, lots of people look at.
Yeah.
I want to go look at the board to find out.
That's another one. Yeah, that could happen.
Mesa.
All I remember was
yeah, probably the same place.
It's hot because it's right there.
There's not silver, it's hot.
Why do you want me in here again?
It wouldn't be the same chord, like all the minor features.
Motley looking crew.
Hey, speak for yourself, will you?
Fit right in, don't you?
We're doing my bottle of water. Oh, I drank it.
Save the same order. We're missing a few.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jake, not quite time yet.
You know, it's nice. I wonder where
We're only 5 minutes. Yeah, we're only 5 minutes over.
Yeah, they're right over there.
How are you? What's your little guy?
Oh, I.
Oh, he's having fun. 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
See who it's from?
Rizek?
Yeah, it's another barber shop. A lot of these are going barber. I think somebody's getting all these emails. Barber shop.
Could be. Could be. Somebody got hacked. Yeah, that's. I wonder if they're coming off of the.
One of the guys.
I'll go round them up.
That's the same one.
I was thinking about that. Thursday, yeah.
You lose the I don't think so. Unless we get it. It could be a fly. It could be a fly. Well, you saw it. It's an E minor voices and harmony. How short they got. Which is they were close, and it's because diminished is really, if you take a diminished, it's really, it's all in versions.
The only choice is those songs.
Because if you have minor passages, you have to have another chord. It's to another chord. So it's got to be higher something. It's not always
But not always. It's like you have the flexibility.
one of them has to be
got bids over here now, we got it stretched. I don't sleep on the floor, but I lay down on the hard floor. And do my stretches. I got a shot of cortisone in my knee. A day, so now I'm stretching every day. I put it all together.
Jerry must be here. There you are.
Smile. See who's standing around the water cooler, right?
Yeah.
It's busted time, right?
It's like, whoa.
That's right.
And on the opposite side of the park is all. No development.
I've never seen a camera on ice before.
That's right.
Watch the movie Tracing Ice. You'll see a lot of cameras on ice. No, the movie Tracing Ice.
Very good.
You're gonna lead it?
Very tight.
So, Mr. Concrete.
Is that what we sang on stage?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it was so good that the perfect experience, and then it just, the universe disintegrated.
I just was testing me.
Probably not. We gotta sing a song. What should we sing?
I even heard him announcing our
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go get a little snug.
All the tires there.
Oh, yeah,
Sing a song. What should we sing? I'll have pitch pies.
Big flash.
Sorry, John. This is fun. What should we sing?
I don't know. Sing Bare Necessities.
Bare Necessities. I like it. That's good.
If you're feeling down and out, seems nothing's going right, just look around and you will find that what you need is inside.
Come on, sing in the bottle, guys.
Inside. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Sing
Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities of Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. So don't be glum, don't be blue, 'cause your troubles will be through. All you need's the bare necessities of life. The bare necessities of life.
Can we get a space?
Did the bases win? Go ahead. So where's Roman?
Robert went home. I should have sung.
Oh, he did?
Chuck Thompson's not here. Hey, you guys had to leave.
You got 3 of us. Nigel's gone.
By the way, I don't know how many of you got to see Steve Salmons, but he wanted to say, well done. He's very extremely excited and proud of the Peninsulaires. And his first opportunity to listen to us as opposed to being in front directing. It's the first time he's ever had a chance to listen to the chorus from the audience. So he was just beaming with
Dave, he said to me that as you guys were walking on the stage, he was thinking, I wonder if this is going to be a really weird feeling. He says he got about halfway into the first song, and he says the word that popped into my head was pride.
Yeah.
Oh,
good.
nice.
So, well done.
We're his baby.
Yep.
Man, some of your ugly babies.
He must have been a pretty little
Face on there.
Hey! Oh, well, you're right on time.
Hello. Good. Hi there.
Hi. You must be Jim.
I am, and Sean is.
Right here.
Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Standing in front of the
Hi guys. I'm Jim Emery. I'm one of the singing judges, and I'd like to know a little bit about this group. Now, is this the Peninsulaires?
Yes.
This group's had an interesting history.
Yes.
Over the years, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah. I loved what I heard today. I hope you did too.
Yes.
Yeah, we had fun.
If you looked at the score sheet, you can tell that your group was a challenge for us.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Now, I was in the singing category. I was the high guy, so clearly I was right.
Well, on the first song, we had a 74 and a 66.
I know.
And on the second song, we had a 73 and a 67.
Yep.
Those are pretty broad.
They are.
I was curious about that.
They are. And let me tell you, whenever there are spreads like that, usually what that means is that you're doing some things really, really, really well, and some other things just really not very good at all. And when you put the two of them together, we're humans. you know, and my set of ears goes one way, and the other guy's set of ears goes a different way. Now, to be fair, the acoustics was actually different, as we discovered in the pit today, from where we were sitting. Yeah, I was getting a certain amount of feedback that he didn't hear over there. So it's possible he heard little imperfections that I didn't along the way, and the overall general stuff that I heard I really liked. Now, that said, as they say, we're humans, and I'd love to say we're going to get the score perfectly together every time. But there are some really good things, and I want to see how many of those we can reproduce in more places than
we want to do
before,
that too.
right?
Yes. That's what we've been working on.
So let me talk a little bit about. So do you compete every year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And this year overall, given the in the individual judge scores, did it come out about the same or better?
4.6 points out of the 100.
Super. That's great. Almost 5%.
Sean is new though.
Almost 5%.
He's
Well,
first.
must be him then.
You knew a lot of it. You just-
All right. So first was Daddy's Little Girl, and do you remember one, right?
Yep.
So Daddy's Little Girl, I have a lot of plus things here, and I'll tell you that's why my score ended up where it was, right? It's a very, the first thing I wrote down as a plus was the sound has a certain mellowness to it that's easy to listen to, right? There isn't harshness in this ensemble, and that, you know, for those of us who grow up listening to auto-tuned and processed stuff on the radio, you kind of get in the habit of just, you know, boy, anything you hear Willie Nelson, he's allowed a little, you know, kind of odd sound. But there aren't many singers that we forgive that, right? So starting out with a very easy sound to listen to is just a big deal. There's also, however, there's energy in that tone, right? It isn't just kind of here and staying along, "'Cause your daddy's little girl," which is mellow but has nothing. "'Cause your daddy's little girl." That tone energy is there most of the time, at least in this first song as well. So, okay, so why wasn't it 80? Right? Or why did the other guy say, well, it was only 66? Right?
I'm more worried about that.
It comes and goes, right? And in particular, it comes and goes at the ends of phrase endings. So he's nodding his head like maybe you've talked about that before, right? So I'd like to do a little, can we do a little of Daddy's Little Girl?
Can we kind of get in sort of columns and bunches like we normally are?
Yeah. And I'd like to have you focus on whatever it is that tone...
Let's get the bases up here since there's only 3 of you left. We had some guys, we got one guy
that's fine.
in a competing quartet, and a couple of guys
works.
with personal issues that needed to pick off.
So what we're going to do is we're going to look for that nice tone that you had. We're going to look for the tonal energy in it, and we're just going to make sure that it never leaves us.
And we're well warmed up now.
All right, here we go.
Little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue. Little girl of mine, I love you. Yes, I do. No one else could be so sweet, so sweet. You have made my life complete, so complete. You're the end of the rainbow, my pot of gold. You're daddy's little girl to have and hold. A precious gem is what you are. You're mommy's bright and shining star.
Okay. Let's go back and do the same thing, no leads.
Little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue. Little girl of mine, I love you. Yes, I do.
Good. Just that far is enough. It's subtle, but if the leads are listening, little girl of mine, help me with the lyrics.
With eyes of shining blue.
Little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue is what the leads are doing. A little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue. is what the other three parts are doing, right? And it's not like really pronounced, but it's just enough that the energy of the chorus as a whole drops off at the end. So this time we're going to do the same three parts, no leads, but it's going to be eyes of shining blue all the way to the end.
And interestingly, the last half of that phrase is actually bass melody.
Yeah, funny. Here we go.
Little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue, little girl of mine, I love you.
There, I love you, I love you. Right? It needs to be full all the way to the end. I don't know if you have a decrescendo there or not, but what he's shaking his head no. So we're going to carry the energy all the way to the end and not let it fade out at the end, right? And then leads are going to join in just a minute. Okay, ready?
Little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue, little girl of mine, I love you. Yes, I do. No one else could be.
All right, put the leads back in, and I think you're going to find it's just a little fuller than what we heard before.
Little girl of mine with eyes of shining blue, little girl of mine, I love you. Yes, I do. No one else could be so.
All right, so you get the idea. You get the idea, right? So a couple guys were such overachievers that they sang two more beats, and that was fine. Right? So I would just say in general, the leads are doing a pretty good job of this. The harmony parts, sometimes if you sing a harmony part like a harmony part, you forget that, oh, you're not singing the song anymore. No, you should be singing the song just like a melody singer. You just happen to be singing different notes. So you might go, you might take that to your sectionals if you do sectionals, right? And sing the melody if you know it, and then sing your part exactly like you sang it. All right, so that's first song. Second song, same disease. See? Let's see this here?
Yeah.
That means that's what's happening at the ends of phrases. So let's do the second one. Okay. See if we can do the same thing. All right. We're going to carry those phrases right up to the end.
No deliberate visual enhancements.
Golden days, those wonderful days gone by. Do you remember the things that they did when dear old Daddy was only a kid? Flapper hats and derbies and spats. Do you remember when? Do you remember the Dixieland jazz, the Lodi-O-Do and Razzmatazz? Broke your back, a ball and the jack. Do you remember when? Oh, those good old days.
Good. You're quick learners, right? I mean, I didn't hear that on stage, though. You know, I can hear there's a couple spots that, wow, you know, I don't know if there was supposed to be a breath there or not, but you went without one, and the phrase just went like this, right? So a lot of that, I think, will really carry today. What I heard in terms of overall tone, I loved and I rewarded. What the other guy heard was, yeah, but it kind of comes and goes now and then, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a certain amount of just kind of get it in the right place and put it on autopilot and make sure that you do that.
That model is the thing. That's been our big focus in finding that model and keeping it. So that's
and the hardest thing will be in the harmony parts, because especially do you remember? You can get into that kind of mode. Instead, do you remember when? So some unison singing on the melody would be good, or making sure that each of the sections by themselves. I'm a baritone, and I know how screwy some of the intervals are in the baritone part. And it's really easy to get in. It's really easy to get into this kind of mode, right, as a baritone, instead of this kind of mode, and you just happen to be singing those screwball baritone intervals, right? So sing like a melody singer all the time, and I think you'll really like it. If we have any time left, I want to hear the key change of the second song.
Which key change? Verse 2.
the one right here that says key change. Where's the bigger one? Do the second one.
Let's do both of them.
All right.
They're really close
All
together.
right, all right.
Do you remember The Band Was the Rage? You ready?
Do you remember the band was the rage? Back when Jolson was king of the stage, the Bearcat Studs was simply the nuts. Do you remember? Remember when? Do you remember the movies they made? When Valentino was chic of the trade, Ziegfeld's Girls got sable and pearl. Do you remember when? Or do you remember the Rumblesee Blue?
Yeah, you can hear it. Right?
Yeah, it's not as good as the other one. But there was a while it was the good one and the other one wasn't as strong.
Okay,
So
so
we exchanged them.
this time what we're going to do, you know where the key changes are, right, that we just did? Well, we're going to sing them a little less effortful. All right? Just sing them a little easier in your voice, and I'm betting they clean right.
You want to do both of them again?
Yeah.
Remember the band was the rage? 2, 3, 4.
Do you remember the band was the rage? Back when Jolson was king of the stage, the Bearcat Studs was simply the nuts. Do you remember? Remember when? Do you remember the movies they made? When Valentino was chic of the trade, Ziegfeld's Girls got sable and pearl. Do you remember when? Or do you remember the Rumblesee Blue?
Trying too hard on that. The